The first topic for today is private members bill. So we'll try to see the differences between private members bill and the government bill. And what is a private members bill? Any bill which is introduced in the house by other than a minister, that is a private member. Any member of the house other than the minister introduce a bill, then that bill is called private members bill, right? Simple definition, right? And what is a government bill? If any bill that is initiated in the house by the ministers, that is the government, then that is a government bill. So this is a broad difference between private member bill and government bill. Even if a ruling party MLA or MP introduces that bill, then also it is a private member bill if he is not a minister, right? If he is not a minister, even if he belongs to a ruling party MLA or MP, then also it is a private member bill, right? And some basic differences are, and other important point is, private member bill can be introduced in both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, right? It can be introduced in both the houses. And what is the notice period that is required? For a private member bill, 1 month prior notice is required, right? 1 month prior notice is required. Whereas for the government bill, 7 days notice is required, right? For the government bill, 7 days notice is required. Yeah. So 7 days notice period is required. And coming to the drafting, right? Now a bill has to be drafted. So for the government bill, we have the particular department for drafting the bill, right? Say Ministry of Agriculture is bringing a bill. Then Ministry of Agriculture has some 4 to 5 departments under the Ministry of Agriculture. Those respective departments will be drafting, that is preparing the bill for the particular ministry. Whereas for private member bill, the particular person who has initiated that bill, right? That person only has to draft the bill. Department will not draft the bill. This is also a difference between private member bill and government bill. And usually chances for private member bill being passed is less, right? Only 14 private member bills have been passed till now, right? Number of private member bills have been introduced, but only 14 have been passed, right? This is also an important fact, because if there is an option saying till date none of the private member bills were passed, then that is wrong, right? 14 private member bills have been passed till date. And can a constitutional amendment be brought by using private member bill? Yes. So private member bill can make a constitutional amendment also, right? This is very important because these are the areas where we get confused in the exam, right? So private member bill can also initiate a constitutional amendment bill also. So this is one thing which we have to know. And another difference is, if private member bill is not passed, then that does not affect the confidence of the government in the house. Whereas if a government bill is not passed, right, then it has an effect on the confidence of the government in the house, right? I hope everyone is understanding the meaning of confidence of government, right? If a government bill is passed, then that in other way it is saying that government is not enjoying the majority, right? So there is chance for no confidence motion. So these are some basic differences between private members bill and government bill, right? We can initiate a constitutional amendment using private member bill. Private member bill can be initiated in both Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. 1 month notice period is required. That person only has to draft it. Department will not draft the private member bill, right? These are some points. So the second topic is, it's a scheme, guys. The second topic is Pradhana Mantri Laghu Vyapari, Laghu, L-A-G-H-U, Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. And the second topic is Pradhana Mantri Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. So what is this Laghu Vyapari? Laghu Vyapari meaning small traders. Laghu Vyapari meaning small traders. So this scheme is basically a pension scheme. It is a pension scheme for small traders, shopkeepers and self-employed persons. right? So Pradhana Mantri Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. This is a scheme whose objective is pension scheme for small traders, shopkeepers, and self-employed persons. Right? Similarly, we have another scheme called Pradhana Mantri Shrama Yogi Man Dhan scheme. Shrama Yogi Man Dhan scheme. What is that for? That is for unorganized laborers. Right? That is for unorganized sector laborers. Similarly, for the service sector, that is for the traders, shopkeepers, and the self-employed people, a pension scheme was brought, which is Pradhana Mantri Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. Now, this is a voluntary contribution pension scheme, right? Voluntary contribution pension scheme. Voluntary contribution means that particular person who wants to get pension after he retires, he contributes 50% amount and the central government will contribute 50% amount, right? It's a voluntary contribution pension scheme, right? Voluntary contributory pension scheme, right? 50%, 50%, 50% from the respective trader or the shopkeeper or the self-employed person, and the other 50% from the central government, right? That thing we have to know. And who can join this scheme? Those traders, those shopkeepers, those self-employed persons who are in the age group of 18 to 40 years. Who are in the age group of 18 to 40 years, they can join this scheme. Right? They can join this scheme. Joining the scheme means they'll join the scheme and they'll start paying contribution towards the pension amount. Right? After they retire, the government will be giving them the amount. Now, how much amount will be given by the government? The government will be giving 3,000 rupees, right? The government will be giving 3,000 rupees. And when does the government start giving 3,000 rupees? After that particular person has attained 60 years of age, right? After that particular person has attained 60 years of age, right? These are some minute details which we need to know about this scheme, guys. Similar to this scheme, we have Pradhana Mantri Shrama Yogi Man Dhan scheme also, right? Shrama Yogi Man Dhan scheme. Find about Shrama Yogi Man Dhan scheme also. These schemes are important because these are trying to provide social security for unorganized sector, right? These are trying to provide social security for unorganized sector. And the important provision in this is it applicable for all the shopkeepers, all the traders? No. All those traders, all those shopkeepers, and all those self-employed who are regular income tax payers, they are not eligible for this scheme. All those traders and shopkeepers who are regular income tax payers, they are not eligible for this Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana, right? And also those traders, those shopkeepers who are already members of existing schemes like EPFO, Employment Provident Fund Organization, right? Who are members of EPFO or who are members of ESIC, Employment State Insurance, right? Who are members of ESIC or who are members of NPS, and who are members of Shramayogi Mandhan, Shramayogi Mandhan scheme. So already who are members of EPFO, ESIC, NPS and Shramayogi Mandhan, they are not eligible to be a part of Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. They are not eligible to be a part of Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. So these are exceptions. If there are any options saying this scheme is for all the traders and shopkeepers, then that is wrong, right? And also only for those traders whose annual turnover is less than 1.5 crore, right? Only for those traders whose annual turnover is less than 1.5 crores. Only they are eligible for this Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. Only they are eligible for this Laghu Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. So these are all the small details, right? This is a pension scheme, voluntary contributory pension scheme for whom? For the traders, shopkeepers and the self-employed. What age group? 18 to 40 years age group people can start contributing to the pension fund and they will get the money after they attain the age of 60 years, right? How much? 3,000 rupees right? 50% contribution from them, 50% contribution from the central government, and only those traders and shopkeepers whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore, they are eligible. And if any of the beneficiaries are already a member of existing schemes like National Pension Scheme, EPFO, ESIC or Shramyogi Mandan, then they are not eligible, right? These are all the points related to Laghu Vyapari Mandhan Yojana. And similarly, we have Shramyogi Mandhan, that is for unorganized laborers. For them also, there is a cutoff, right? For them also, there is a ceiling. If they are earning above than a specified amount, then they are also not eligible for Shramyogi Mandhan Yojana. Just find out what is that amount, right? We will discuss that scheme in the coming days. So the next topic is codification of labor laws. The next topic is codification of labor laws. This is also an important topic, right? Even during the COVID times also, this codification of labor laws and simplification of labor laws was in the news, right? Many state governments have relaxed the labor laws so much that the trade unions have started protesting, right? So in this context, we need to know details about codification of labor laws. First of all, we need to know labor laws is a concurrent list subject, right? This clarity we should have, right? Labor laws is a concurrent list subject. That means both the central government and the state government can make laws on this labor laws, right? They can make laws on this labor. That is first thing. Second thing, how many laws do we have? Almost around 144 laws presently we have for the labors, right? 144 laws we have currently for the labors, right? What the central government is trying to do, because we have so many labor laws, on one hand it is affecting the ease of doing business because of so much compliance burden on the companies, because we have 144 laws for laborers. So ease of doing business is getting impacted on one side. On the other side, even the laborers also are not aware of these many laws, right? Even the laborers also are not aware of these 144 existing laws. So what the central government is trying to do, it's trying to simplify the laws. That is nothing but the codification of labor laws, reducing these 144 laws into 4 codes, reducing these 144 labor laws into 4 codes, right? So in this way, it wants to simplify the labor laws, at the same time improve the ease of doing business. So what are these 4 codes, 4 codes of labor? First is code on wages. Code on wages. This is the first thing. Second thing, code on industrial relations. Code on industrial relations. This is the second thing. Third thing, code on occupational safety, health and working conditions. Code on occupational safety, health and working conditions. This is the third code. Fourth code is code on social security and welfare. Code on social security and welfare. These are the 4 codes, right? So each code, please try to get into the details, right? And with respect to prelims, try to gather as much information as possible, guys, about these 4 codes. So some areas where to focus is in the code on social security and welfare. For the first time, gig economy workers are being provided social security, right? We have already discussed this. So gig economy workers and platform workers, gig economy workers and platform workers, these 2 particular sections of workers are getting the benefits of social security for the first time under this code on social security and welfare, right? Try to find the difference between platform worker and gig economy worker, right? So gig economy workers means freelancers. Freelancers, they don't have any formal contract. Whereas platform workers means, for example, platform workers are nothing but Ola, Uber, cab drivers, right? They are using one online platform for their livelihood, right? They are using an online platform called Uber or Ola for their livelihood. They are called platform workers, right? Gig economy workers are different, right? They don't have a formal contract and they are freelancers. So try to get the difference between these 2. and also details about these 4 codes, right? So especially Code on Wages Bill is trying to repeal 4 important industrial labor laws. Code on Wages Bill is trying to repeal means remove 4 important industrial labor laws, right? First one is Minimum Wages Act 1948. Minimum Wages Act 1948. Second law is Payment of Wages Act 1936. Payment of Wages Act 1936. Third one is Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Fourth one is Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Equal Remuneration Act 1976. These 4 laws are being converged into the Code on Wages Bill. Right? They are being converged into Code on Wages Bill. Now, which is the ministry that is responsible for all these things? Ministry of Labor and Employment. Right? Ministry of Labor and Employment. And also for the previous scheme which we have discussed, Laghu Vyapari Mandhan Yojana. For that scheme also, which is the implementing ministry? Ministry of Labor and Employment. Right? Ministry of Labor and Employment. So this is about codification of labor laws, guys. Right? Try to find some important details with respect to prelims for this 4 codes on labor. The next scheme is Prasad scheme. Right? Prasad has a full form, guys. So Prasad full form is Pilgrimage Rejuvenation, and Spiritual Augmentation. Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive Scheme. Right? Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive Scheme. This is the full form of Prasad. Now, which ministry is implementing this scheme? Ministry of Tourism. Ministry of Tourism is implementing this scheme. Now, I have picked this scheme because this scheme is in the news, and also most of this kind of schemes we get confused between Ministry of Culture and Ministry of Tourism, right? So this scheme is being implemented by Ministry of Tourism. Similarly, Ministry of Culture also runs some schemes, right? I've already given you an exhaustive list of all the schemes related to culture and heritage which are being implemented by Ministry of Tourism, and also which are being implemented by Ministry of Culture, and also we have a scheme which is being implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Hriday scheme, if you remember, Hriday, right? So that scheme is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which is also related to culture and heritage preservation. Right? Just go through that list, you will have full clarity. So this Prasad scheme is about developing pilgrimage sites across the country, right? So this Prasad scheme is about developing pilgrimage sites across the country. What are pilgrimage sites? One example is temples. So developing the temples. So developing the religious tourism in India. That is the overall objective of this Prasad scheme. Right? Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive Scheme. Ministry of Tourism. Developing pilgrimage sites and developing religious tourism. That is the objective of this scheme. And recently, under this Prasad scheme, almost 50 crores was allocated to Simhachalam temple in Visakhapatnam, right? That I am telling this just for example, right? So in this way, temples and other places are tried to be developed under this Prasad scheme, right? And there is another interesting scheme that is implemented by Ministry of Tourism called Swadesh Darshan scheme, right? Swadesh Darshan scheme. What is this Swadesh Darshan scheme? Tourism based thematic circuits, right? Tourism circuits are being developed under this Swadesh Darshan scheme by the Ministry of Tourism, right? We have discussed this also. What are the circuits? Buddhist circuit, Gandhian circuit, right? Himalayan circuit, right? Ramayan circuit. In this way, different circuits, that means they'll try to connect all the places that are related to Buddhism and develop all those tourist sites and make it a circuit. We have coastal circuit, right? So these circuits are important. In this way, 13 tourism thematic circuits are being developed by the Ministry of Tourism under this Swadesh Darshan scheme. So find out what those 13 circuits are, right? Find out what those 13 circuits are, and also find out important places in all those circuits. A place called Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh got its first international airport. It is a famous Buddhist site. International airport was developed in Kushinagar as a part of Buddhist circuit under this Swadesh Darshan scheme, right? So in this way, tourism circuits are developed under Swadesh Darshan scheme. So please find out important places, guys, right? So the next topic is 1972 Shimla Agreement. The next topic is 1972 Shimla Agreement. This is important because this is also related to current affairs. If we see, we can see countries like United States trying to meddle into the Kashmir issue, right? They are trying to extend their help in solving the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan, right? We have seen many attempts by many countries to solve the Kashmir issue between Pakistan and India. But India, at every situation, has reaffirmed, or it gave its statement, a constant statement, that we already have formal channels of negotiations under the 1972 Shimla Agreement, right? So we already have formal channels of communication between Pakistan and India regarding the Kashmir issue as a part of 1972 Shimla Agreement. So we don't need other countries. So in this context, we need to know what is this Shimla Agreement. Entire year 2019, we can see our External Affairs Minister also stressing on this Shimla Agreement for negotiations between Pakistan and India regarding Kashmir issue. So the Shimla Agreement happened after 1971 war, right? The Shimla Agreement happened after 1971 war. What is this? This is an agreement that is signed between former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Pakistan President Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. So this is basically an agreement that was signed after 1971 war between Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, between Indian Prime Minister and the Pakistan President. And this is the agreement, or this is the treaty which gave formal recognition to line of control, right? So this is the agreement, that is the 1972 Shimla Agreement, which gave formal status or formal recognition by both the countries to the line of control, right? So line of control got its formal recognition from 1972 Shimla Agreement. This point we have to know for sure, right? And also this 1972 Shimla Agreement has provisions for negotiations between Pakistan and India for peace. So these are all the points related to 1972 Shimla Agreement. And the next is about animals, guys. So cheetah, as we have discussed in the previous classes, right? Cheetah is extinct in wild in India, right? It is extinct in wild in India. That means we can't see it in India. We can't see cheetahs anymore in India, right? That's why what we are doing, we are trying to bring African cheetahs, right? We are trying to bring African cheetahs. Recently, Supreme Court gave permission for bringing African cheetahs into India, right? So from a particular country, we are trying to bring it to India, right? We are still in the search of wildlife sanctuaries. So that's why we need to know cheetahs are not found in India, right? This fact we have to know. Cheetahs are extinct in wild in India, right? In Iran, we have Asian cheetahs. In Iran, we have Asian cheetahs. In Africa, we have African cheetahs. Find out the IUCN status of these animals, right? Cheetah is an important animal this year for prelims because Supreme Court judgment is there on cheetahs for allowing African cheetahs to be transported from Africa to India, right? So try to find the IUCN status, try to find the habitat of the cheetahs, right? Where are their natural habitats? Try to find all these things. And the second animal is pygmy hog. Pygmy hog, Pygmyhog, pygmy hog. Its IUCN status is critically endangered. Its IUCN status is critically endangered, and this pygmy hog can be seen only in India as of now. So as of now, this pygmy frog can be seen only in India. So these are add-ons to our animals list, guys. We already have many animals and their IUCN statuses, right? So in that table, add these animals also, their IUCN status, their habitats, and any special features, right? And if there are any specific wildlife sanctuaries trying to preserve them, add them also in the list, right? This will help you in the prelims. And the next is about a river called Ulhas River, ULHS, Ulhas River, right? Ulhas River. What is this Ulhas River? So this river flows in Maharashtra. This river flows in Mumbai, Maharashtra. This river flows in the city called Mumbai in the state of Maharashtra. Now, why is this river important for us? Because of the monsoons, this river got overflooded and caused Mumbai floods recently. So Mumbai floods were caused because of overflowing of this Ulhas River, ULHS-RIVR, Ulhas River. Right? So this can be seen as a geography question. Also, this can be seen as an environment question also. Right? Because of unsustainable urbanization, flash floods are increasing in cities like Mumbai. Right? Ulhas River also overflooded because of monsoons. So this is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, right? That we have to know. And this also supplies drinking water needs to Mumbai, right? Similarly, we have some lakes in news in India, especially in Bangalore. We have 2 lakes which were in news in the Bangalore. Similarly, Supreme Court and even the National Green Tribunal also asked states like AP, Telangana, Karnataka and Maharashtra about the status of lakes, right? In those judgments, NGT mentioned about some lakes in each state. For example, in AP, it has mentioned about Kolleru Lake, right? In Kolleru Lake, we are trying to convert that lake into fish farm ponds, right? We are doing fish farming there. Artificial fish farms are being constructed in Kolleru Lake. And we have a Kolleru Wildlife Sanctuary also there. So habitat is at loss there. In this way, we have different lakes which were in the news for environmental concerns in India. Right? Please try to find them and note them. Right? Ulhas River is one such thing. This is in Maharashtra. Right? And the next is, this is a scheme called Krishonnati Yojana. Krishonnati Yojana. Right? Green Revolution Krishonnati Yojana. This is the name of the scheme, guys. Green Revolution Krishonnati Yojana. What is this Green Revolution Krishonnati Yojana? This is an umbrella scheme. This is an umbrella scheme. Umbrella scheme means there are many subcomponents of schemes under this scheme. And it's called an umbrella scheme. So what are the different subcomponents under this Krishonnati Yojana? We have 12 schemes under this, excuse me, under this Krishonnati Yojana. So those 12 schemes, we'll just note them down, guys. So first is Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, MIDH. This is the first scheme under Krishonnati Yojana, right? MIDH, Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. This is the first scheme. Second scheme, National Food Security Mission, NFSM, National Food Security Mission. This is also a component. Third scheme, NMSA, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Fourth component is SMAE, Submission on Agricultural Extension. Submission on Agricultural Extension. Agriculture extension means extending the latest technologies to the agriculture. Agriculture extension means extending the latest ICT technologies to the agriculture, to the farmers, so that they are aware of the latest developments, so that agricultural productivity and production can be increased. That is the meaning of agricultural extension, right? Fifth component is Seeds and Planting Material Scheme, right? Seeds and Planting Material Scheme. This is the fifth component. Sixth component is submission on agricultural mechanization. Submission on agricultural mechanization. So agricultural mechanization is also very important. Why? Because farmers in the states of Punjab, UP, Haryana and parts of Rajasthan, because they don't have the money to afford for mechanization, at the same time they don't have the money to hire the laborers, what they are doing, they are burning the stubble. Because they are burning the stubble, the national capital region is facing the heat, it's facing the air pollution, right? How can we avoid that? We can avoid that by providing agricultural mechanization to the farmers. So this is also a component. Seventh component is submission on plant protection and plant quarantine. This component is about plant protection and plant quarantine, right? The next component is integrated scheme on agriculture census, economics and statistics. The next component is integrated scheme on agriculture census, economics and statistics. This is one component. Ninth component is agricultural cooperation scheme, right? Ninth component is agricultural cooperation scheme. 10th component is agricultural marketing scheme, right? Marketing is very important for better price discovery for the farmers. Better price discovery, better cold storage facilities, all these come under marketing, guys, right? And the present government is also focusing a lot on agricultural marketing, right? Please refer Contract Farming, APMC Act Amendment, Essential Commodities Act amendments also. These were the recent initiatives that were taken by the government, central government, for solving the problem of agricultural marketing. Please refer those. And the 11th component is National E-Governance Plan in Agriculture. National E-Governance Plan in Agriculture. This is the 11th component. Now, this component is important because under this only we have different initiatives like ENAM, National Agricultural Market, right? ENAM is one e-governance initiative, right? In this way, we have a number of e-governance initiatives. The last component is National Mission on Oil Seeds and Oil Palm. The last component is National Mission on Oil Seeds and Oil Palm. Now, oil seeds is also important because India is one of the leading importers of oil seeds, right? We have domestically farmers producing oil seeds, but still we import so much from the other countries because of free trade agreements, because of which our domestic farmers are facing the issue, right? They are going into the loss and they are not choosing oil seeds. Now what's happening because of this? We are forced to import oil seeds from the other countries now, right? So government is trying to solve this problem also. It's trying to encourage the farmers to go for oil seeds production, so that we can reduce our import dependence on the oil seeds. And these are the 12 schemes, guys. Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, National Food Security Mission, Sustainable Agriculture, Agricultural Extension, Seeds and Planting Material, Agricultural Mechanization, Plant Protection and Plant Quarantine, Agricultural Census, Economics and Statistics, Agriculture Cooperation, Agriculture Marketing, E-Governance Plan in Agriculture, and Oil Seeds and Oil Palm, right? All these are different components under Krishonnati Yojana, right? If we are not able to remember all the components, at least we need to know Krishonnati Yojana is related to Green Revolution. It is related to development of agriculture and allied sectors, and it has 12 components. And now we'll see small topics. If we see the POCSO Act, POCS, so Prevention of Children from Sexual Offences Act, one small catch there is, under POCSO Act, children definition is all who are less than the age of 18 years, right? Not 14 years, but under the POCSO Act, children definition is for all those under the age of 18 years, right? If we go by the Juvenile Justice Act, it is 14 years, but under the POCSO Act, it is 18 years, right? This is one area where we have to be careful. And there is a geography through maps. There is a location called Ream Naval Base, REAM, Ream. So what is this Ream Naval Base? This Ream Naval Base is located in Thailand. This is located in the Gulf of Thailand. So this naval base belongs to Thailand, but Thailand has agreed for China to use its naval base, right? So China presently has an agreement with Thailand for using this Ream naval base, So that's why this naval base is important for us. And the next topic is FRP for sugarcane, fair and remunerative price. FRP means fair and remunerative price. What is FRP? FRP is also similar to MSP. Just like how the government fixes the minimum selling price for 23 different crops, similarly for sugarcane, a fixed price is nothing but this fair and remunerative price, right? Now, who pays or who buys sugarcane from the farmers at this FRP? It is not the government, but it is the sugar mill owners, right? What the sugar mill does, it basically converts the sugarcane into sugar, right? So point number 1, FRP is for sugarcane, not for sugar. This is point number 1. Point number 2, who buys for FRP? It is not the government. The sugar mill owners will buy the sugarcane from the farmers at FRP. This is point number 2, right? And point number 3, who approves this FRP? CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, right? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves this FRP. Who recommends this FRP? CACP, Commission on Agricultural Costs and Prices, CACP, that recommends FRP for sugarcane, right? And FRP is nothing but MSP, similar. MSP is for different crops, FRP is for sugarcane, right? One basic difference is who buys from the farmers at MSP? FCI, Food Corporation of India, right? It is the government which will buy the crops at MSP from the farmers. But who buys from the farmers at FRP? It is the sugar mill owners who will be buying the sugarcane from the farmers at FRP, right? And another interesting thing is, can only central government fix the MSP? No. State governments also fix their MSPs, right? This is one thing we have to know. Not only central government, but state governments also have MSPs. It is because state governments also fixing MSP for sugarcane, the sugar mill owners are facing the burden, right? That's why sugar mills are getting into the loss. And now governments are taking a number of initiatives to develop this or to boost this sugar mills, right? So because the state governments also going for more MSP than the FRP of sugarcane, which is given by central government, sugar mill owners are facing the issue. So these things we have to know. So Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves the MSP. But who recommends the MSP? CACP recommends the MSP. This also we have to be thorough with, because they can confuse us. They can say CACP approves the FRP or MSP. That is wrong, right? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA, approves the FRP. CACP recommends the FRP. And another important bit for prelims is Baba Kavach, BHA, Baba Kavach. Baba Kavach. So what is Baba Kavach? This is India's lightest bulletproof jacket, right? This is India's lightest bulletproof jacket. This was in the current affairs of July month, guys, right? July 2020. So this Baba Kavach is nothing but India's lightest bulletproof jacket. Straightforward question. If there is a question asking Baba Kavach recently in news and 4 options given, directly we have to choose that it is India's lightest bulletproof jacket. And this is developed by Ordnance Factory Board. This is developed by Ordnance Factory Board and another public sector company called Midhani, MIDHANI, Midhani. So public sector companies have manufactured this India's lightest bulletproof jacket called Baba Kavach. Right? This can even withstand AK-47 rifles and INSAS rifles also. right? This can withstand AK-47 rifles and INSAS rifles also. Right? These are some things, some points about Baba Kavach. And the last scheme for today is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. So what is this Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana? So there are two components for this Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. One in the rural areas, the other in the urban areas. Right? So Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana in the rural areas is called National Rural Livelihood Mission. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana in the rural areas is called NRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission. In the urban areas, it is called NULM, National Urban Livelihood Mission. National Urban Livelihood Mission. Right? So urban component is being implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. NULM is being implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. NRLM is being implemented by Ministry of Rural Development. NRLM is being implemented by Ministry of Rural Development. What is the objective of this DAY NRLM or NULM? Poverty alleviation. Poverty alleviation is the overall objective of this NRLM or NULM. Right? Now, what is the strategy to alleviate the poverty? This scheme promotes women-led self-help group development model. Right? The approach under this scheme is women-led self-help group development model. Right? So they encourage formation of self-help groups and they encourage the self-help groups to increase the economic activities so that their businesses increase and they can be brought out of poverty. Right? So that is the objective of this Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Now, another important sub-component under this scheme is Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. Right? Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. So this Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana is a sub-component under Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. What is this about? This actually solves two problems in the rural areas. One is it tries to create transportation facilities in the rural areas. It tries to create transportation facilities in the rural areas. How is it trying to create? It's trying to create transport facilities by providing self-employment opportunities for the rural poor. By providing self-employment opportunities to the rural poor, this scheme tries to solve the problem of transport facilities in the rural areas, right? So on one hand, we are able to improve the connectivity between the rural and the urban areas by improving the transport facilities. On the other hand, we are able to solve the unemployment problem in the rural areas and bring them out of the poverty. Right? So that's why this scheme is important. It is Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. Right? Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. So this is about Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Similarly, we have Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission, implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. As a part of this NULM, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched a portal called Paisa Portal. Right? A portal called Paisa Portal has been launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Just find out what is that Paisa Portal. Right? So apart from this, another topic is electronically transmitted postal ballot systems. This is also a recent topic, guys. Electronically transmitted postal ballot systems. Right? So at the time of elections, we know some people cannot vote during the time of elections. Why? Because they are working in armed forces or they are working in embassies outside the India. Right? These section of people are called service voters. Right? This section of people are called service voters. So these are doing some work for the government because of which they are unable to vote. So for them, a new facility was being created which is called electronically transmitted postal ballot system. That means they will receive the ballot paper through a secured system, right? And they can transfer their vote. They can transfer their vote, their choice of candidate, and submit it to the government again. So this is the procedure. So this is called electronically transmitted postal ballot system. So this was developed by Election Commission of India along with CDAC. So this is created by Election Commission of India along with CDAC. CDAC means Center for Development of Advanced Computing. Right, so this is about electronically transmitted postal ballot systems, guys. Right, developed by ECI along with CDAC. For whom is it? It is for only service voters. It is not for the normal people, right? It is only for service voters. Who are service voters? Those who are working in Central Armed Force employees and also who are working in embassies which are outside the country. For them, this facility is created. Now, technologically, this has some safeguards. This has 2 layers of security. Right? This has 2 layers of security. This is also important because I guess some 2 to 3 years back, they've asked about BHIM. In that, one of the option which they asked in the prelims was how many layers of security it has. Right? One of the statement was BHIM app has 4 layers of security, 3 layers of security. Right? So this electronically transmitted postal ballot system, this system has 2 layers of security. Right? First layer of security is OTP. First layer of security is OTP. A one-time password will be there. Second is PIN. PIN will be there. Right? Second is PIN will be there. And the third thing is QR code also will be there. Right? QR code also will be there. QR code will be there. But this is said to have 2 layers of security. Right? 2 layers of security. So these are the topics for today. And if we see today's newspaper, there were some interesting topics which have the potential for prelims. First is herd immunity. Herd immunity. Right? What is herd immunity? Please try to find about the term because this term was creating a buzz for the last 3 to 4 months. So try to know about herd immunity. What is actually herd immunity? The second is sero surveillance. Sero, S-E-R-O, sero surveillance. This is one of the testing method at a mass level. Right? This is one of the testing level at a mass level. Testing method at a mass level. Right? For an individual testing, we have different methods like RT-PCR method, antibody testing method, right? Different methods. If we want to test whether a particular population of 1,000 people, what is this COVID rate, then this sero surveillance is done. So find out what is herd immunity, find out what is sero surveillance, right? Also Totlakonda, a place called Totlakonda was also in the news. It is a Buddhist site in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. Right? It is a Buddhist site in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. This was in the news in the last year and this year also. Why? Because some of the construction activities have started near this Totlakonda place. Right? So this is in Andhra Pradesh. At least we have to know that this is related to Buddhism and this is in Andhra Pradesh. Right? In case if there is a question, we need to know that. And next thing is Nepal-India boundary issues. Nepal-India boundary issues. There was an article today in the newspaper, in the editorial, about Nepal-India boundary issues. Kalapani, right? We have to know what is this Kalapani dispute. Not only a place called Kalapani, but also a place called Susta, S-U-S-T-A. S-U-S-T-A. That is also a disputed place between Nepal and India. Right, that we have to know that Susta is a disputed place between Nepal and India, because if there is any question saying Susta seen in the news recently, it should be striking our mind. And Treaty of Sugauli, right? So this was the area of contention between Nepal and India. What is this treaty? Treaty of Sugauli. This happened in 1816. So this was the treaty which divided the territory between India and Nepal, right? So this was signed between Nepal and Kingdom of Nepal and East India Company. This was not signed between Nepal and India, right? This was signed between Nepal Kingdom and East India Company, not India, right? Later we continued the same treaty. And one river here is Mahakali River, Kali River, right? That also we have to know. And Lipu Lake Pass, right? This also we have to know, because Nepal-India dispute is Lipu Lake Pass. Similarly, we have two other passes which were in the news because of China-India dispute. Now, if they ask us to arrange these in north to south, we should be in a position to arrange them, right? We should be in a position to arrange these passes from north to south or east to west, right? Please refer the maps, see where these passes are and try to remember them. Right? This can be a question. This can be a potential question. And another report is Food Security Report, SOFI report, right? Yesterday on 3 days back we have discussed one Global Hunger Index report that is published by which one, right? That is published by IFPRI, an organization called IFPRI. So Global Hunger Index report, Food Security report, that is the SOFI report. This is published by FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, right? We have another report called Global Nutrition Report that is published by World Health Organization, right? That is published by World Health Organization. So in this way we have three different reports. So SOFI report is published by FAO. This is important because this brings out an observation that food insecurity is increasing in India. This brings an observation that food insecurity is increasing in India compared to 2009. Now it has increased a lot. That's what this report says, right? As we have discussed before, all those reports which are in the news in which India performed exceptionally well, or if India is facing challenges, these two kind of reports, they are important for us, right? So this says food security is increasing in India, and this is related to SDG 2 also. What is the SDG 2? Eliminating hunger, right? Eliminating hunger. So this can be connected to SDG 2 also. And the article also mentions about two parameters that are used in SOFI report, right? Today's newspaper. Just find out what those parameters are. Just keep them in your mind, right? And there is another very good article in the editorial page which talks about the procedure for clinical trials, right? Vaccine clinical trials is also an area which we have seen in the news in the recently, right? Since 1 to 2 months. So that article has very neatly explained different stages in vaccine trials. Please refer it so that you can be strong in this area, right? And also regarding Dawood Ibrahim, right? There was an article about Dawood Ibrahim also, right? In that article, there was a mention of UNSC, ISIL and Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee. I've already said this committee. This is basically UNSC 1267 committee, right? UNSC 1267 committee. This is different from FATF. UNSC also designates terrorists. FATF blacklists and grey list countries, right? These two are different things. Just find out the differences and find out what these bodies are. And regarding contempt powers, guys, Attorney General's consent is required for the Supreme Court to initiate contempt proceedings against anyone, right? This point we have to be very sure and strong, right? We all know that Supreme Court has suo motu contempt powers, right? But to initiate those suo motu contempt powers on any individual, Attorney General, AG, Attorney General's consent is required. There was an article today in Hindu newspaper, right? If you follow it, then you will never do the mistake, right? So this is like a check and balance on the contempt powers of the Supreme Court. This was mentioned in the Contempt Powers Act, and also this was mentioned in Article 129 of the Indian Constitution. Even in the Contempt Powers Act and also in the Article 129 of the Indian Constitution, it was clearly mentioned that Attorney General's consent is required for the Supreme Court to initiate contempt proceedings against any candidate. Right? So please refer that article. And another one is National Council for Transgenders. National Council for Transgenders was constituted recently. Now this National Council for Transgenders is a statutory body. Right? This is a statutory body. And this statutory body has the backing from Transgenders Bill. Right? There is a separate act called Act for Transgenders People. So under that act, this National Council for Transgenders was created. Who is the chairman for this? It is the Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is the chairman for this National Council of Transgenders. Please go through every detail of that bill because that was passed recently, and that bill also has many challenges. So try to find what are the challenges and what are the features of that bill. And also try to find about this National Council for Transgenders. It is a statutory body.